Hey guys, NerdKi here. And today's versus battle is going to be Guldo versus Dio. Should be interesting. A little time battle. So let's break some things down. Let's start with the moves. Now, Guldo has two main abilities. One is to time freeze, and which he can stop time for as long as he could hold his breath, which isn't very long. Then his second ability is mind freeze, which just freezes his opponents just in place pretty much. And also, Goldo has psychic powers, so he can remove things from the ground like trees or poles, things like that, and use them against his opponents. All right, now Dio, his moves. First of all, he's a vampire, so he has some unique abilities: necromancy, teleportation, and regeneration, just to name a few. He also is a stand user, and he uses his stand called the World to stop time for a short period. And as you might have seen if you watched Jojos Bizarre Adventure, the more he uses this time stop move, the more time he could stop, like the more seconds he could stop time, the more he uses it. And of course, just his stand is great at hand-to-hand combat, and so is he really. I mean, he's a vampire. He has superhuman strength and speed and abilities. So the location for this battle will be in Egypt, Cairo, Egypt, in the city park. So timeline. So I'd say it'd be Goldo shortly before being sent to Planet Namek, because really we didn't see him much after that. I mean, we did, but going to King Kai's planet. But I think shortly before being sent to Planet Namek would be good for him. And Dio would be shortly before encountering Jotaro and his friends in Egypt. All right, here's how the battle would play out. Now, Goldo would arrive in a Ginyu space pod in Cairo, Egypt, in the city park on a rainy, cloudy day. There he would meet his opponent sitting on a bench reading a book. Dio looked up to see that the challenger has finally arrived. It appears that the disgusting four-eyed creature has arrived to face me, says Dio. You'll be sorry for calling me that, pal, angrily responds Guldo, who holds his breath, effectively stopping time. At the same time, though, Dio called upon his stand the World to halt time as well. The two fighters were the only ones who could move in this timescape. Everyone else around them was frozen in time. Goldo was holding his breath, but he, due to his poor health, couldn't stop time for very long. Neither could Dio with his stand, only about maybe 3 seconds. So he sent his stand the World quickly to attack Goldo. Goldo kept holding his breath and sidestepping backwards. When the 3 seconds expired, he used his power of Mind Freeze to halt the World in place, and Dio was also frozen because of the connection between a stand user and his stand. Goldo smiled as he flew up and got in a few punches into Dio's face and gut. Not so tough now, are ya? Says Goldo, flying back to his previous position. Looking around, he sees a tall elm tree that he thinks could be useful. Using his psychic powers, he wills the whole tree, trunk and all, out of the ground. The tree's trunk, which was extra sharp, so Goldo uses power to send it flying toward Dio. Dio desperately tried to break free, with his superhuman strength, he did so at the last possible second. The World jumped in front of Dio and took the brunt of the tree head on. Goldo was shocked that the stand and Dio were that powerful, and held his breath to stop time once more. He hid behind a tree and plotted his next move. The World pulled the tree out of him like a sword and noticed that the alien had disappeared, so Dio ordered him to fell every tree in the empty park until he found the coward. Goldo waited until the World was in range and held his breath, but Dio had just stopped time a split second before Goldo. The World was right in front of a frozen Guldo and quickly proceeded to delivering lightning-fast, crushing punches to the alien's face and body, even after the 3 seconds had expired. What was left of Guldo was a battered and barely breathing form with no hope of escaping. Even if he did hold his breath, he decided to try anyway. Dio walked up to him and put his boot to his throat as he choked the life out of him. Guldo's hand touched something in his pocket, and he was dead. Dio was surprised that someone else could control time like he could, or rather his stand. Very interesting find. But in the end, only I could reign supreme, says Dio confidently. Alright guys, if you think that was all, you got another thing coming, because there's a bonus. I got a little bonus fight here coming. Alright, so meanwhile, somewhere in Universe 7, 4 powerful figures in space pods were headed to Earth and arrived moments later. Guldo was beaten, Cap. Who could have done this, says Jace. It really doesn't matter who, Jace. The important thing is that we have just lost a comrade, a brother. Now our signature poses will be off balance. Listen up, everyone. The killer couldn't have gone far. Check your scours for higher than average power levels. We'll find him and make him suffer, says Captain Ginyu passionately. Yeah, let's make sure the chump gets a proper beating, says Raccoon. Yeah, he's gonna know that you don't mess with the mighty Ginyu Force, says Burger. Each doing a fighting pose, the Ginyu Force splits up as they attempt to locate the one who killed their brother in arms. They each encounter some of Dio's followers, or the agents of Dio, who they have no problem dealing with. Jace is the first to find Dio when he uses Scouter. He's not sure what to expect, so he calls for backup. Burger and Raccoon arrive on the scene, but Ginyu was still tied up in a fight and said he would be there shortly. The 3 Ginyu Force members, minus the captain, proceed to bust down the door and enter the mansion. While inside, they fight some more of Dio's stand users. After easily defeating them, they find Dio in his room. Well, it appears they have company. If you made it this far, then you have my respect. Although your progression ends here, says Dio calmly. We'll see about that, mate, says Jace as he nods to Burger. The two use their purple comet hurricane attack, but as soon as they do, Dio uses the world to freeze time. Dio then runs up and touches their wrists and legs as well as Raccoon's. When time resumed, the trio's arms and legs were frozen. Well, that was all too easy. You shouldn't have come here to pick a fight with the mighty Dio. Farewell. As Dio was about to release vitreous humor from his eyes, someone else entered the room. Someone who Dio recognized. Jotaro, how good of you to stop by. But if you don't mind, I have some business to wrap up before I kill you next, says Dio. Jotaro smiled and said, Oh, I think you can make time for me. He then called upon his stand, Star Platinum, and sent him to fight Dio's stand, the world. Jotaro's stand was so fast that Dio couldn't activate his stand's time stop ability. The stands were about equal in strength and ability. Meanwhile, Jace, Burger, and Raccoon all busted out of their ice shackles and went to aid Jotaro. Dio was overwhelmed, and just as he was about to retreat, the Ginyu Force cornered him, and Jotaro and his stand, Star Platinum, got up close and personal and unleashed a ora lightning fast and bone-crushing punches that left Dio helpless. Raccoon blasted his stand, the world, into oblivion as Jace and Burger do their purple comet hurricane attack once more. This time, Dio couldn't stop time, and he was blown to bits. Good job, men. Your captain is proud of you, says Jotaro, turning to greet the trio. Each looked puzzled at each other for a moment. Wait, Cap? Is that you? Says Jace. Jotaro does a stylish pose and confirms the other's suspicions. Captain Ginyu, it is you? Says Jace. Burger and Raccoon gathered around and asked him where he got his new body from, and the captain told them everything that happened. The reunited group rejoiced as they left Earth and headed back on course. Lord Frieza wanted a report of what happened here, and if this planet is worth selling, says Ginyu. Meanwhile, somewhere in Egypt, the captain's old body walked down through the desert, looking for the one who stole his former body. This guy must be an agent of Dio. I have to find him and get my body back. Where the hell could he he have gone. Alright guys, that's all for today. For new, please hit subscribe, punch that like button, as well as the notification bell for more videos. I'm NerdKi, and I will see you next time.